listening to the Marketing Happy Hour podcast, where we discuss career and industry insights with our peers in marketing.
We're here to talk about it all, like the ups and downs of working in social media,
how to build authentic relationships in the influencer and PR space,
managing a 9-to-5 and a side hustle at the same time,
how to be productive in your life and career without losing your sanity, and more.
Ultimately, we're here to build a community with you because we're all trying to navigate the world of marketing together.
Are you ready? Grab your favorite drink and join your hosts, Cassie and Erica, for this week's episode.
We're chatting all things social media content and strategy with Macy Thompson, social media manager at Spritz Society, a sparkling cocktail brand made with 100% real wine, real flavors, and real ingredients. Join us as Macy shares her journey from TikTok creator to spearheading content at Spritz Society. Discover insider tips for growing your personal brand online. Learn how Macy applies her TikTok expertise to Spritz Society's social media approach, and gain valuable insights into crafting engaging content across different platforms. Plus, stay tuned as Macy unveils her predictions for the future of social media in 2024. Grab your favorite cocktail and tune in now for an awesome episode packed with actionable advice and industry insights. Let's get to it. Macy, welcome to Marketing Happy Hour. We're so excited to have you. How's it going?
It's great. Thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. And we were talking off record about how we learned of Spritz Society. I personally was listening to an episode of Good Guys with Josh Peck and Ben Soffer and heard about Spritz Society and Ben's just involvement and creation of the brand. And I'm like, we have to talk to you guys about developing the brand, promoting the brand online, all those things. But we got to ask you in true Marketing Happy Hour fashion, what's your favorite Spritz Society flavor and what are you sipping on right now?
Okay, it's our latest flavor, I think. No, it is passion fruit. It's literally my favorite. I tell everyone to try it. It's only online right now, so that part kind of stinks because you can never find it in person, but it's so good. It's like tart and sweet, but not too sweet. I love it. So passion fruit. And then second is actually pickle, which
Oh,
yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that.
I'm
but
dying to try that one.
Yeah.
I know that you guys are probably out of stock of it, but I am dying to try that one because I loved that when it came out.
Hopefully bringing that one back soon. But when I found out we were doing that, I was literally terrified. I'm like, that is awful, but it ended up being my second favorite. So I highly recommend.
Oh my gosh, that's
one
amazing.
Of my favorite cocktails at a bar is in Savannah, Georgia. There's this bar called Artillery Bar, and they have like a dill infused like cocktail, and that just really reminds me of like the pickle flavor. So I'm wondering if it's similar at all, and I'll have to keep my eyes out for when you guys release that again. But I also just have passion fruit over here. What about you, Cassie?
Me too. And it's delicious.
Oh my gosh.
I tried some of the other flavors already, but I do think I'm with you, Macy. I think this one's my favorite so far. So, but I do have to try pickle. So I'm very excited about that.
Passion fruit is so different from all the rest. But no, back to the pickle. When I was scared of it, I realized that I can't take shots. I'm so bad at them. But the only type of shot I can take was this one bar. They had pickle shots. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to like it. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Passion fruit pickle. My faves.
Love that. And I have to mention really quickly, you guys, when we're recording this, just launched or just announced, I should say, a collab with Target. So congratulations on that. We'll dive a little bit further into that on the episode, but just have to say kudos to you guys for that launch this week.
Thank you. Yeah. Launch days are always insane. Well, in terms of my screen time, because I'm just on my phone all day, but it was super exciting. Yeah. It's going to be fun to talk about.
So cool. Well, Macy, just to echo Cassie, we are so excited that you're here, and I am excited to learn from you today. But first, could you just tell us how you landed at Spritz Society? You know, what is the brand story in the first place for any listeners who aren't familiar? And what is your involvement there with the brand?
Yes. Okay. I guess I'll backtrack because right when I graduated college, I was working at a marketing agency in Dallas. I went to TC, which is in Fort Worth, moved an hour away, and I was living in Dallas, or I still live in Dallas, but I was working at a marketing agency. It was influencer marketing, and I liked it, but I definitely wasn't like, a forever type of job. And I was like, oh, I hate like waking up and getting ready for work. And my friend was like, okay, well, listen to this podcast called The Toast. And so I started listening to The Toast every day as I was getting ready for work. And it was just kind of my morning ritual. And I soon found out that they had an alcohol brand called Spritz. And my 23rd birthday was coming up. And my friend Kenzie, she is my best friend Kenzie. She is an influencer and does a ton of events. And she had Spritz at her event. And I kept asking, I was like, can I take the leftovers? Like, can I have the leftovers? She's like, Macy, I'll give you them. So she gave them to me. Like, she gave me all the Spritz for my birthday. And on my 23rd birthday, I posted a get ready with me video with my college friends that ended up going viral. And I didn't tag Spritz in it or anything, but Spritz was in it. And they saw it and they commented and they're like, oh, like, do we spice Spritz? And we ended up DMing back and forth, and we were going to have an email or have a phone call. And I thought it was going to be something about a collab or gifting. I didn't really know what it was going to be. And they ended up asking me if I wanted to freelance run their TikTok because they were looking for someone to do that at the time. And it was so crazy because the night before I wrote down on a piece of paper, like everything that I wanted out of my career. And I was like, I want to be more creative. I want people to like hear my ideas, but I just didn't think I was going to get that at a young point in my career. Cause I was like, oh, eventually that'll happen, but I wanted it then. And so it's crazy that literally the next day I got the phone call asking if I wanted to freelance, and I was still working my normal agency job, but I was like, no, I need to do this because I don't know what it'll turn into. And it's funny, my apartment was not cute at all, but I went to Home Goods and I bought all this stuff for a bar cart so I could make them content. And I just, looking back, the content was not great, but I really did try. And so when the other social media manager ended up leaving, she called me and she was like, okay, do you want this? And I was like, yes. So it was a really natural progression. I feel like it was, yes, my hard work and everything, but it was also right place, right time. Cause now like I have people that reach out to me. I'm like, I'm so sorry. We're just literally not hiring. So it really was perfect timing. But I do all of our social media, all of our marketing content, literally anything that falls under marketing for Spritz Society, I do. And I guess I should say what it is. It's a canned sparkling beverage, spritzers. It's like flavored wine. It's really fun. And I feel like it's just like the perfect drink, especially, I'm not trying to like gender it, but it's a very girly, cute drink because I feel like yeah, I don't like the other ones. So I love it. And I do all things marketing and I get to be creative. So it's a really good situation.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And I think it's such a testament of if you build your personal brand and you're working on doing that, you never know what kind of opportunities come out of that. And also just naturally infusing brands that you love into your creator journey, I think can open the doors to whether it's partnerships or even jobs like what happened with you. So I think that's really amazing how you were just kind of open to that happening and you took the leap with it and look where you are today. So that's awesome. Kudos to you for that.
You. Yeah, it's crazy because I remember I've been doing my own social media since 2018. I did college YouTube, posted YouTube vlogs all the time. And then when I graduated, I really started to focus on TikTok. And it's so funny because looking back, I always had concerns like, oh my gosh, like, what if my employer sees this? Like, what if they see that I'm making videos? I'm like, wait, no, I'm literally employed because I make videos. So it's really cool. And Spritz, I mean, it was founded by influencers and they really value that I'm a creator myself because I feel like I just have a good grasp on what's going on. I'm on my phone a lot. So I think having your own personal brand and just posting on your own social media in any capacity is like the best thing you can do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's kind of talk a little bit more about that. So you've grown your TikTok following to over 115K, which is absolutely an incredible feat. Can you share with us some of the insights into your journey of growing your personal page?
Yeah. So like I said, I started on YouTube and I grew up to 45,000 subscribers on YouTube. But at the end of the day, it just like, I don't know, it felt very forced for me. I was making these vlogs just because everyone else was, and I didn't even think they were entertaining myself. And I was just getting so bored of it. And so that was right at the time when I graduated college and TikTok was becoming a really big thing. And for the first time, like my followers were saying, wait, Macy, I didn't know you had a sense of humor. Like I felt like I could really be myself on TikTok. And that's the cheesiest thing ever to be like, oh, make content that you actually enjoy and be yourself. But that is really when I did see the traction. On my TikTok, I don't know if anyone's ever seen it, but I feel like I have like two different parts of me, like my TikTok life than my Spritz life. I do kind of mesh the two together, but I do a bunch of bits, I guess you would explain it. Like, I don't really know how else to describe it, but yeah, I make up a bunch of stories and they're just like funny parody little videos. And they were really well received. So I don't know. I live in Dallas. I'm 24. So a lot of it's just like my life in Dallas being this age, but then a lot of it's just me like making up ridiculous stories in the moment. Like I had a whole 6-month long bit that I was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader that ended up that got me on the field, like making TikToks with the Dallas Cowboys. So it's
Oh
funny.
my
Like you
gosh.
never like, I don't know. I feel like people overthink social media so much, which I'm probably going to talk about, but just posting videos I would post to my private Snapchat story is when I saw the most growth, honestly.
So, what advice would you give to aspiring social media managers or content creators looking to establish their own personal brand online? It sounds like you've really honed in, be authentic to you, have fun, don't take yourself too seriously. But anything else that you would share just to help others build confidence or just to step out and create their own content?
Yeah, well, first of all, I honestly feel like quantity over quality, which I feel like that might be a backwards advice, but the more you post, the more you're going to get used to it and see what sticks, see what does well. I mean, my first year on TikTok, I barely grew, but I posted all the time. And then if I posted one funny video and people really responded, I was like, okay, that one worked. So it's a lot of just seeing what works and repetition and consistency. I feel like any creator ever out there is going to tell you consistency, but that really is the only way to really succeed in social media. I mean, I'm not even saying that I've nailed that down completely, but people that do that are amazing. And then anything that really shows your true personality just shows that you're a human with feelings and stuff that people can relate to. Because I mean, you can look at cute photos of people on Instagram all day long, but TikTok is where people started growing really fast again because people were able to relate to them and see them for more than just, a superficial photo. So anything that shows more depth to you, I think is always amazing for a brand or a creator.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And I think a lot of times people get caught up because they overthink what they're putting out on social media. And they definitely, I've actually been in the room before with one of my friends who she was on like a little bit of a creator journey for a while, and she would spend hours just trying to figure out which picture is the best picture for this day and this collaboration in this outfit. And it was just so interesting to watch because it was a lot of thinking and thinking and thinking and trying to be strategic with it. And then she would look at some other people online, and they would be, taking off more than, her account was. And she was like, oh my gosh, what do I need to do? And then when she started posting just like real time, just like talking to the camera, just like panning and showing her real life, she started to grow. So I love that. That like brings me back to that moment sitting with her in that room and like hours of her just being like, what picture is the best one? So
Yeah, no, and it's so funny because a lot of people think like, oh, I'm not doing anything, glamorous or worthwhile. But if you think about it, a bunch of the best YouTubers are the ones that just film their lives at home and the mundane tasks. Or Emily Kaiser, I don't know if you guys follow her on TikTok, but she's just a mom posting her everyday content and people love it. And again, she posts it every single day so people know that they can come back to her channel and love it. But yeah, I feel like as soon as you stop overthinking it, because at the end of the day, no one's thinking about it like you are, that's when it really does well. I feel like the best piece of advice I heard was to treat TikTok like your Instagram or Snapchat stories. Like it does not have to be calculated at all. Like people are kind of turning away from that.
yeah. Oh my gosh, so cool. And that's inspiring because I find myself sometimes caught in that like overthinking stage too. So it's interesting to like hear you say, just treat it like it's no big deal and like go for it. So I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, even from
Well,
brand side, yeah.
yeah. Well, we
I
were
was
going to get
just
into the
gonna say,
brand side.
even
So
even from the brand side, when I like super overthink posts and get way too into it, I'm like, okay, this is starting to sound a little too corporate-y. No one wants to read this.
yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm curious too, you alluded to it a little bit of like how your experience on the platforms, like with your own content, kind of plays into your strategy with the brand. But I'd love to hear a little bit more about like what that strategy looks like for you on each platform and kind of how you utilize your personal experience to inform that strategy.
Yeah, well, I always say I feel like above everything, I'm a content consumer. Like I am the definition of these companies' target demographics. So whenever they're making content and I really like it, I'm like, oh, that was really good. And I kind of just absorb all the content I see. But TikTok was definitely the first time that brands started to get super casual on social media, besides, Wendy's on Twitter making silly little tweets. It was really the first time that we saw brands have a personality. And so when I got the ability to take over Spritz's TikTok, I was like, okay, I want to implement that exact same thing. I also make funny jokes because if you think about it, no one's just going to go out and find a brand and follow them if they're just putting out promotional stuff 24/7 and trying to, you know, sell to you. If you think about the brands that you follow, they're usually funny or have some type of value. And so as a content consumer, because that's what I am, I always try to think about that and just make content that I would want to share, content that I think is funny, that's lighthearted. And stuff that makes the brand feel like a person, not some big, big alcohol company, just feel like, a friend next door. But as a creator myself, I have a pretty good grasp on what influencer types of programs work, ambassador programs, all of that. There's some brands that I love working with that I've never been paid for just because I have a really strong relationship with them, and they'll do really good gifting and they just treat their creators really well. And so when I came into Spritz, they had this one ambassador program already going. But I was like, okay, I don't know if I would do this as a creator. I don't know if I would go download a third-party app and do these challenges. And it was nothing wrong with the ambassador platform that was set up. It was just like, I don't know if I would do that. And so that's when I said, okay, I think we need to make this a little bit more informal, a little bit more relational. And just, again, it all comes down to behind every single brand is a person, and just really making it feel like that, because that's the way to go, like relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to hear too, we talked a lot about TikTok, but I'm curious, how is your social media strategy or approach differing on other platforms? Like, let's say Instagram, for example, versus TikTok. Are you posting different styles of content? What are you kind of doing there versus TikTok?
Yeah, I love the comparison of Instagram is, for the grandparents and your parents, and then TikTok's the private story for your friends. But recently, I'm really trying to implement more of that casual, laid back, funny content on Instagram because that always performs so well. I mean, because Instagram in my mind was always way more formal, but then I was like, wait, TikTok's performing so much better. It's the same people that are on TikTok and Instagram. Because in my mind, I was always like, wait, these are such different people, like Reels versus TikTok. But no, it's all just people wanting funny content at the end of the day. But I would say Instagram is a little bit more formal just because that's where, people might go to see where they can buy it, or I don't know, investors or just people that are looking for more serious info. So Instagram does have that level of formality to it. I am trying to break that down. Like we're always saying, we need to post more TikToks on Instagram, but whenever I do really just impromptu spur of the moment posts, they perform better than like any of the formal sales or anything like that. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So
Edit that
I
out.
mentioned, no, you're good. So we talked about at the beginning of the episode that you guys just launched at Target this week, right? And
Yes.
watching this unfold on social was so fun because, like, I think it was yesterday or a couple days ago before you guys launched, there was like this very, subliminal, like we didn't really know what was going on. There's like this little countdown thing with not much on it. And I was like, what is happening? And I was like, I'm so excited to talk through this with Macy. And then on launch day, there was some really fun content that I specifically saw with Claudia and Ben. And so I would love to hear kind of your process for developing plans for new product launches, or even like campaigns or new partnerships that you guys are launching at Spritz, and how do you integrate social into these initiatives?
Okay, yay, I love this question. Because it's honestly my favorite part of the job, these campaigns and these launches. For example, I found out a week or two ago that this was going to be the week that Target actually launches, because we had known for a while, but we found out that it was on shelves. So we're like, okay, it's full go time. And thankfully I work good on a time crunch, because I probably would have put it off anyways. But it was really exciting because we're such a small company that Ben or Claudia or whoever can have an idea for a launch. So we did a launch video if you guys want to go watch it. It's of Claudia picking up a retro phone and she's calling everyone. And we got all these people from our Spritz universe, like Lauren Bostic, Tinks, Tyler Cameron, Danielle Carolyn. And everyone's picking up the phone saying, we got Target. And that all came from a TikTok that Claudia found from Legally Blonde, where Reese Witherspoon's alerting the sorority of some big news. And so she like just simply had that idea. And within 1 week, we got all these videos from everyone. I edited it. Our graphic designer put together a cute little filter and end card. So it's really cool being such a small company where you have all the creative freedom in the world. That is what I absolutely love about my job. They'll never tell me no. They'll tell me try it. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, which is so fun. And these marketing campaigns, you said, how does social media play a part? And it's honestly like all social media. Like I'm Spritz's social media manager, but we're not some huge company that's doing billboards and huge events and all these insane marketing activations. Social media really is our bread and butter. We're such a digitally driven brand, with the Toast being like who started the podcast. That's all online. So it's all super exciting that at other companies, a social media manager might play a really big role in the marketing campaign, but for me, I feel like it is the marketing campaign. We're not pushing out paid ads, we're not doing anything else. So it really is fun to see what types of fun ideas we come up with and how we can roll it out. I mean, our graphic designer Xander, like I'll tell him just the most vague idea ever, and within 2 hours, he sends me the most beautiful graphic I've ever seen. Or Ben and Claudia, they're both influencers and geniuses, so they'll have a funny idea for a TikTok, and then I can execute it, and they'll love it. It's really fun, and it's a very collaborative team. It's nothing like, I feel like a lot of times brands get in trouble when the social media person has to go through like 5 rounds of revisions and someone at the top is saying no because they don't understand how social media works. No, Ben and Claudia, they're just like, yeah, that's funny, post it, So it's a really fun team to be able to do the launches with because the stakes are very, I don't want to say low, but it's like, okay, if it doesn't work, then let's not do that next time. But these launches are super fun and I love putting them together. I'll always do like a little deck of just the teaser. Or this one, we did a Target sign loading, but it wasn't like fully a Target sign. That was my idea. But then again, our graphic designer, Xander, he executed it perfectly. So yeah, it's really fun. It all starts with just like one little idea. And then like for example, the Pink Lemonade relaunch that we did, it was right around the time of Eras tour. And so when I was like, okay, we got to have like a pink lemonade can coming up and then something coming out off of it like Taylor Swift does. And then that happened. It's really cool when you have an idea and it actually comes to life, because that's all I ever really wanted to do in my job was like see my creative ideas come to fruition.
Yeah, it's got to be so fulfilling. And a lot of professionals are in cultures or businesses where they don't feel like they have the support of their leaders. And that's unfortunate, right? And there's ways to kind of get out of that zone or even speak up and share that. But I'm curious if you have any advice just for building confidence, or, maybe a professional who doesn't feel super confident to share those wild and crazy ideas, even if they're not that wild, just like unique and different ideas, or even presenting new solutions like you did with the affiliate and partnership platform. How do you kind of step up and feel okay to share those different ideas to your leaders and not feel afraid of, what they may think about them?
Yeah, that's such a good question because I'm now approaching my 1 year at Spritz. It's going to be a year in about 2 weeks. And it's so crazy looking back, because a year ago, I had genuinely no confidence in, like, I knew I could do it, but I didn't have any confidence because I came from a role where my internal emails were getting proofread. I had to do something like so tiny and it would have to go through 3 layers of approval. So I just felt like I was in this position of like, okay, like I can't do anything. I can't step on anyone's toes. Like I know I have good ideas, but I don't want them to get shut down. And that's such a real thing. Like I remember writing down in my notes, I said, I just want to have creative freedom, but I don't think I'm going to get that at this age. But I think that's such a misconception because even being young, you have so many great ideas. It doesn't mean anything. You're just as credible as anyone else. And I really saw that they appreciated my ideas and initiative when my first month at Spritz, I had this really fun idea for a marketing campaign. And I put together this deck just for fun as a little passion project. And Ben was like, no, I love that. Like, show it to the company. I was like, oh, okay. So I think if you have an idea, instead of just timidly saying it, like come together with like never just say a problem, like come with a problem and a solution. There's a lot of times where I'll talk with Ben, I'm like, okay, I don't think this is working, and I'm not just going to sit there and pout about it. We're like, okay, let's get through it together. So if you want to say something to your company, like don't just say, oh, I think this needs to change. Like put something together and show that you have the confidence to present it. And honestly, just speaking up and just getting it out there, even if it isn't well received, you're going to get better at it. Even a year in, I'm like, okay, wait, I have control. Like I have the power to do this, like actually use it. But that's such a real thing. I remember literally just a year ago being like, okay, like I don't know, like sorry if this isn't right. Like I remember my first manager at Spritz, she was like, yeah, this all sounds great, like what do you need from me, like you can do it. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I can do it.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool and such great advice. And I think a really good reminder too, to any leaders who might be listening to empower the young people who are in your organization to feel comfortable presenting their ideas, and kind of like if somebody comes to you and presents an idea and it's maybe not, up to whatever you thought it should be, like mentoring them and just allowing that passion and that like heart for the marketing to grow. Because I think a lot of leaders get bogged down with like okay, well, we have to hit this and we have to hit this and this is how we've always done it, and like they don't listen to younger people at this point. So it's definitely a good reminder out there for people to remember that the young people in the organization probably have incredible ideas that should be tapped into. So love that.
Seriously, and it's crazy how many of them are probably just hidden because they don't want to say anything. I think
Right.
there's a quote, I think it's Banksy, but it's like a lot of people don't show initiative because no one ever told them to, or something like that. And
Mhm.
I remember reading that from a young age. I was like, okay, I gotta show initiative. So now I take that
Yes.
a little too seriously.
Oh, I love that though. That's such a good one. I wanted to go back really quickly to the launch because I was just pulling up some of that content, and I saw Ben's comments underneath like all the posts and like how funny he is just in general, but like especially on those posts. I'm curious to hear how you and the brand and the founders interact with the community on social media and like what that brings to the brand, because I know that's a major piece is like there's all of this brand love because you're so present and so engaging and engaged with your community. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, first of all, our community is truly so special. I see so many other brands and I'm just like, we are so lucky. And it's all props to the Toast Girls. Like they have built such an amazing platform. I mean, they have like Facebook groups for each cities with thousands of girls and people become friends. I get messages all the time that are like, oh, I'm a part of a Toast Moms Facebook group and we all connected because we all have the same due date. And I'm like, what now? Like it's our community truly is so special and they really are so supportive at anything we do. They're ready to show up and they're I don't think Spritz, I mean, it's like literally Spritz Society. They're a little society and they're so amazing. But I just love replying to all the DMs genuinely as if they're personally sent to me. Like people will tag us in stories and I reply, I'm like, yes, queen, like obsessed with this. Like I just reply how I would normally instead of just some like automated customer service, like thanks for sharing, have but I just love using it as a way to communicate with them and see what they want. Something I recently did was I made a close friend story for us on Spritz. I need to get better about using it, but it's super fun just to like post silly little things like, oh, should I, it's like a funny photo of Ben and I'm like, oh, should I post this? And then people come up with really funny captions and it's just fun to be, I keep saying the word casual, but casual with the people that follow you. And again, it's a person at the other end of the brand. So now some people that follow me on TikTok, they'll DM Spritz and be like, Macy, like, can you help me with this? I'm like, yeah, girl, you got it. But yeah, I think that's also funny having inside jokes with our community from the Toast or from Ben or from Spritz. And it's funny when they feel like they're not when they feel like they're a part of something, when they are a part of something. And so it's really fun just to talk with them and see their ideas and everything because they're very valuable and I'm very thankful for Spritz's community. We did my first month at Spritz ever. We did this pickleball tournament in Austin and it was a community event. And I keep saying I want to do more of those because people that were there were just so cool, so kind. I'm like, okay, like this is a cool brand if we're getting these people.
Oh my gosh, you guys absolutely should do more of those IRL events. That's
I
something
want
that like
to.
we are so passionate about and love like attending first of all and also planning. So
Yeah, because
always,
even for
always
me,
doing it.
yeah, because even my job, I love it so much, but I'm completely remote and I'm just by myself a lot of the time. That's why
Yeah.
I'm like, DM me. I love replying to DMs. But even for me, who's fully remote, I'm like, I need more events like that just to see Spritz in real life and in action. Wait, where are you guys again? Where are you based?
We're in Florida, so
Oh,
near Tampa. Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
wait. I'll have to see if Spritz is in the Target near you.
I know.
I know.
I ordered a like online order to pick up at Target because I think they're doing like this crazy sale this week.
Yeah, Circle
And
Week.
yeah, so I need to go in and like look for you guys. But I've
Yeah.
seen you at Whole Foods down here. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It
cool.
really is crazy seeing it in person because when you're so in the weeds with it and seeing all the nitty gritty, and I go in store and I see, I'm like, oh wait, there it is.
Yeah, it's like a real product I can go and pick up. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also may be in Texas, hopefully, maybe in September.
In
So
Dallas,
we'll
yeah.
in Dallas. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll keep you posted if we're
Yes,
in
let
your
me
area.
know.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah,
know. Always here.
of course.
Actually, that's a
And
lie. I leave a lot.
I'm the same way. People are like, "Oh, I'm coming to Florida." I'm like, "I'm not here right now.
Yeah.
Sorry."
I know. I'm like,
Um,
actually, no weekend from now till July.
Yep.
yeah, like, "Oh,
Yep.
sorry, I'm traveling." But I was gonna say too, adding people to your close friend story on Instagram, how very Billie
That's so
Eilish of you.
fun.
That's like such
Yeah.
a trending thing right now that people were added to her story and like were freaking out about it, thinking that they were like her #1 fans or
But yeah,
something. And it turns out I think she added like 80% of her followers to it.
Oh
I just
my
want to say,
gosh.
Billy, I did that first. That was
Yeah.
that was when I was trying to this was actually before broadcast channels even, and I was trying to think of like an easier way to reach our people. So I
Yeah.
just did an Instagram story. I was like, who wants to be added to our close friends? But then I get insecure about it because I'm like, wait, what if not everyone that wants to be on it is on it and I'm being exclusive? Because you have to go through and, go to their Instagram, or you have to search it all. So I would like
Yeah.
screenshot all the people that said yes, put it on my computer, go to close friends, like add
Oh
them
my
in.
gosh.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I think we have like 200 people right now. I need to add more and use it more because I always forget that I have it. But Billy, I did it first.
Oh my gosh.
She got
Credit
the
to
idea
Macy.
from you, actually.
Yeah. She loved Billie Eilish loves Spritz and she got the idea from me.
Oh my
Perfect.
gosh.
We love that. We'll run with that. Well, I want to hear from you too. What predictions do you have for social media moving forward in 2024? Is there anything coming up with Spritz that we can talk about, or just like anything in general that you see as like a major trend or anything like that in this year?
Okay. I probably sound like a broken record, but do you guys follow Jake Shane?
Yes,
Octopus
I love him. I'm obsessed with him.
literally perfect. Cassie, he's the guy that did all those historical skits on TikTok. He's super funny. But
Oh, yes. Oh my
yes,
gosh.
so he
Sweet.
blew up on TikTok, and I thought it was really interesting noticing how he also blew up on Instagram at the same time because, for example, my Instagram and TikTok are so completely different. Like my TikTok is just random videos of me making up little stories, and my Instagram's like me at weddings, and they're very different. But what I noticed that's so special about what Jake does is he literally posts in feed on Instagram as if it's his private story. And I keep talking about that, but I just think that the whole travel era of like perfect bloggers and fashion bloggers, like they're always going to have that space in the industry and they're always going to have their thing. But for the most part, people just really want realness. And it's not even like the fake realness of sharing your deepest, darkest struggles. I don't agree with you need to, be completely expose yourself to be relatable. I just think much more like photo dumps, casual, in the moment. That's something I'm even like trying. It's just, again, it all comes back to getting in your head with social media. But I think brands, everyone's going to become a lot more or a lot less calculated. I'm trying to think of other things, especially with influencing and brand deals. I feel like brands are finally catching on that the super scripted brand deals where they give their influencers really, specific creative briefs where they have to hit all these points, they're not performing well. And some of the best brand deals that I do on my own personal page are the ones where they're like, okay, we know you love this mascara, talk about it and why you love it. And then like just with more trust. So I think that that's going to be the new era of influencing social media, everything just more candid
Oh my gosh,
because
so
people
fun.
are also becoming so smart with what they follow. And now I'm talking about influencing. I have like so many
Yeah.
different pillars here. No, that people are becoming so smart and they like know when they're getting sold to. So that goes to when an influencer's talking about a product or when a brand's talking about a product. It's at the end of the day, like I think about the products that I love. Like I'm wearing Daily Drills right now and I'm drinking a Stanley, and it's because I love how it like makes me feel and I see other people doing it. It's just like not because someone stood in front of a screen and was like, buy this now for 20% off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kennedy and Mary Ralph. We had them on the show not too long
Oh my
ago.
gosh.
Love them. Over at Daily Drills.
Macy, is there anything that's coming up with Spritz Society that we should know about?
Yes, there's a lot, and I never know what I'm allowed to say because people always be like, "Oh, I'm working on a secret project." But I'm like, would they really get mad if I said so? But one of them, okay, this one's definitely out and it's going to be out. But we're doing a partnership with Craig Conover. He's from Southern Charm, and he's amazing. He's big in the Bravo world. It's so funny. I don't know anything about Bravo, but I'm obsessed with Craig. And so we're doing a partnership with him. He's an investor, and he's going to bring it to South Carolina, which is so exciting. And Craig is just the best, and hopefully a flavor down the road, which I'm just saying hopefully so I don't get in trouble. Um, but then also we're doing a bunch of other fun collaborations right now because last year we did that collaboration with Claus and Pickle and it did so well, way better than we could have ever expected. And so we're really leaning into that whole collaboration model type. So we do have a new flavor that's somewhat similar to Pickle that's in the works. It's not Pickle, but it's similar, hopefully bringing pickle back. But yeah, Craig, I'm super excited for a bunch of like hypothetical flavors right now. I don't really know much about the flavor development side of things. Like maybe they'll send me some samples to try. I'm like, okay, let me know when we should start promoting. But we do have a bunch of really fun partnerships, and I'm excited to lean into that model because they're super excited to like collaborate with the brand or the influencer that we work with. So yeah, lots of fun things for 2024 and honestly going into 2025. I feel like as a startup, we don't think that far ahead a lot of the time, but now I'm like, wait, no, it's going into 2025 too.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh,
gosh,
crazy.
so cool.
Okay, I have to ask too, like if you were in charge of flavor development or even partnerships, like let's say there's a brand you would want to create a flavor with, what are you developing? Like if
Oh
you
my
were in
gosh.
control
I
of that.
really want a cotton candy grape flavor. Like
Oh,
I want a cotton. I have very childish taste buds, I think, and I would love some type of like cotton candy, um, something like that. I really want a mango. I think a mango would do really well.
yep.
So maybe I'm like, hey, we need to do a collaboration with me.
Yes. Oh my
Like,
gosh. Macy X Spritz. We're manifesting it. It's gonna happen.
no, they're gonna be
2025.
like, you're an
Yeah.
employee. No,
You
but
That's
I
were
would
like,
love.
amazing.
I just try things. So
Yeah.
this is what I'm trying now.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
I'm like, yeah, I have so much creative freedom that I completely named the flavor after myself, like Macy's Mango.
I love
Like,
Love
it.
it.
we did not approve of this.
Macy, this has been so fun. And I feel like we could just keep talking to you all night, but we have to let you go here in a moment. So you have to tell us, where can we stay in touch with you, Spritz Society, but also tell us about this card game that you have. I was just notified of this. Tell us all the
Yes.
details.
Yes. Okay. So I mentioned my best friend Kenzie a lot, and that's Kenzie Elizabeth. She's been, it's so crazy because I followed her back in 2018 when I was in high school and she was in college. So I like went through high school watching her. So she's one of my best friends now here in Dallas, and she has a brand called Friend of Mine. You guys should honestly have her on the podcast. She's amazing and she does it all by herself. And I'm like, how do you do this? Like she does more by 10 a.m. than I do in an entire day. And I feel like I do a lot. So she's crazy. But this brand called Friend of Mine has these dinner cards and there's nightcap cards, dinner conversation cards. And so then she was like, do you want to come out with a version of my card game? I was like, yes. So mine is called The Bit. It's a collab with Kenzie and her brand. And basically, I have a lot of very chaotic stories, like with boys, literally everything. Like my friends are always telling me, like, Macy, this would only happen to you. And so we made this card game and it's would you rather, truth or dare, and superlatives, like most likely to. And a lot of them are based off of like my things that have happened to me. But for example, this card says, would you rather have a man sing a song to you or have a finance bro explain what liquidating your assets means?
Oh my
And
God.
Ah, good.
because I've had a man sing a song to me, and then also I had a viral TikTok that was about
Oh my.
liquidating
Oh my
assets.
God.
It was a complete twist on finance, so it was funny. But yeah, they're really funny dares. They involve like prank calling because me and Kenzie at her 26th birthday, we stayed up to like 3 a.m. prank calling. And there was a funny story where I ended up like talking to one of the guys that I prank called. It was just crazy. So yeah, they're
Oh
really
my
fun and they're
gosh.
all based off of personal experiences. So I love them. Like I just went on a bachelorette this weekend and we played them the whole time. And it's funny because I thought that no one would understand my humor and they'd be like, what the heck did this girl come up with? But they were super fun. So yeah, you can
Oh
find
my
the card
gosh. So fun.
shopfriendofmine.com. It's Kenzie's brand. And I'm
Perfect.
gonna plug Kenzie because she's a marketing genius.
Love that. We'll definitely have to have her on the show.
Yeah.
And then Spritz is at Spritz, right?
Yes,
On
they
Instagram.
they really nailed it with that SEO. Like
Love that.
that was before my time, but I'm like, how did y'all get that username? But yes, it's is at Spritz. The TikTok is at Spritz Society. I'm trying to post more over there because it's when I first got the job with Spritz, I was only doing TikTok, and now that I'm doing so much, I kind of neglect it sometimes. So hopefully there'll be some popping content over there. And then my personal Instagram is at Macy_Thompson, and then TikTok is same thing, but with two N's at the end of Thompson.
Love it. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for joining us. So fun, like I said. And we'll definitely stay in touch with you and have to have you back down the road just to check in. So thanks for sharing your insights and everything.
Hopefully I ramble less next time.
No.
I
No,
never
you did
I never
amazing.
talk about the marketing side of my life because I do my little TikToks and I do on my own Instagram I talk about all my beauty and stuff like that, but I never talk about marketing. So when people ask me, I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad you brought this up."
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. No, you did amazing. And you're obviously like hacking the system over there, and it's all marketing insights we can put into our brand stuff too. So it's great. It's good to hear.
Oh my
So
gosh, no, people are gonna
thank
walk
you.
away with like the legit. People are gonna walk away with the takeaways, like, okay, don't think as much.
No. But it's so good though. It's a good reminder.
Yeah, absolutely. Spritz is at Target. Go check it out. Macy, what's the website for Spritz as well if we want to order online as well?
SpritzSociety.com.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Like I said, so much fun and excited to continue to stay in touch with you guys and just see what's up in your world and in the world of Spritz as well. So thanks so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Macy. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Marketing Happy Hour podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. If you want more of Marketing Happy Hour but don't know where to start, we invite you to download our free Marketing Happy Hour starter kit at marketinghappyhr.com/starter-kit. This interactive magazine-style PDF walks through who we are, includes helpful resources like a marketing term glossary and the printable daily planner sheet that we actually use ourselves, and contains clickable links to our episode recommendations by subject area. Not to mention all the fun extras like a quiz, the link to our Marketing Happy Hour Insiders Facebook group, a word search, a playlist, a goal-setting guide, content inspo by month, and more. It's our hope that you'll dive into this resource and walk away more confident in your career journey with a group of industry pals that you can lean on for advice and support. Snag your free starter kit today at marketinghappyhr.com/starter-kit for all of the info you need to become a Marketing Happy Hour insider.